So for those of you wondering, you are in the right place. This is episode 3. Unfortunately, I had to end my previous Vulcan 4 times hunger run as the game developers decided to suddenly remove the organics printer from the game. And for those of you who remember correctly, that was the entire strategy for that run. It was literally the crux of the whole run. So without it, it would no longer have been possible. For this reason, I'm starting a brand new Vulcan 4 times hunger run. The strategy this time is to go the more traditional trader route for survival, as this is the only viable tactic left for Vulcan, or I should say literally the only tactic, the only way to get food now on Vulcan starting out. As I've stated before, I am really not a fan of the trader mechanic in Stationeers. I really feel like it doesn't fit with the game, but given that that is the only option left for Vulcan, well, let's just say we do what we must. I started this video series to do a 4 times hunger run on Vulcan, so I definitely didn't want to end it like that. I definitely do want to see it through, so we will be adopting the trader tactics, and we will be embracing that fully. Those of you who saw the 2 previous videos may have noticed that I have a very distinct approach to a 4 times hunger run, or beating a 4 times hunger run. I like to stay in control, do things in a very precise and organized way, planned ahead. Well, no more. Given that the trader is a very chaotic element, I'm basically going to be embracing the chaos and playing things a lot closer to the edge, riding things a lot harder, just basically seeing what I can pull off, embracing the chaos. Just really pushing things as hard and as far as I can, since I don't exactly know what to expect from any one attempt to another due to the random nature of the trader and the element it introduces. So expect more chaos, more unpredictability, perhaps more explosions. Now this thing is the satellite dish. It's used to scan the skies to find traders. And when I say scan, I mean you sit there turning knobs very painfully and manually while you try and pin down an exact trader location. I've placed it 1 block up, higher above my floor level, since it's much easier to reach the 2 turning knobs or dials from 1 level lower than if you're standing on the same level as the satellite dish tends to get in the way and block your access to the knobs. So placing 1 higher like that will go a long way to making it easier to manipulate. We are building a rather small little starter base over here, essentially a 2x3 on the indoors side. This is because we're mostly going to be focused on the trader for the first portion of the game, and that really doesn't require much internal space. Most of the stuff for it will be placed outside, since you have to be outside to manipulate the satellite dish and deal with traders by touching the landing pad. So most of the equipment sits outside. I'm even going to put the computer that controls it or monitors it all outside as well, so we really don't need much internal space. It's mostly for the vending machine and 1 or 2 production machines, like maybe an autolathe and a pipe bender and so forth, the arc furnace, and keeping the oxygen tank inside really. And this here is the landing pad. When you successfully track down and call for a trader, he'll come arrive in his little space shuttle and park off on this thing over here, so we need nice easy access to it. And we put the communications motherboard inside the computer. Sometimes you have an issue whereby the communications motherboard just, I don't know, maybe like melts from the heat or something. I'm not 100% sure. Sometimes it literally disappears. I can only assume that the heat destroyed it, but it only happens rarely, and most of the time it tends to be fine. So I'm putting it outside and just kind of hoping that it works out, it doesn't glitch out. Otherwise I might just load the game back and then try it again. I don't know if that's an intended mechanic or not. I'm going to go ahead and assume that maybe it isn't, since it doesn't happen most of the time. But yeah, we'll just treat it as such. So I'm not taking this cable all the way to the top. I'm splitting it and forking it to the sides like this for the data and power ports. So that way it won't block my direct upward looking access to the knobs. Otherwise, if the cable's on the corner there, it's going to make it harder to get to the knobs than it already is. In the spirit of embracing the chaos, I am going to be leaving the less important stuff on the lander, unlike the previous game where I pretty much just brought everything inside. One, because I don't have quite as much space this time around, since the resources are going to be invested elsewhere than building a slightly larger base. So I'm going to have to leave some stuff behind here anyway, because I don't want to put too many things in my vending machine that I'm going to be using for storage, since it's not as easy to access stuff out of there as it is for a locker. So it could get very cluttered if I put too many things in there. We'll just be hoping that the lander doesn't glitch out. It seems to be fine these days, the last few times I've tried it now, so we'll just hope for the best over there and that it doesn't disappear on us or anything weird. Take our chances. Ah, this thing's killing me. I want it in the corner, but got to place it in such a way that we can still access the intake slot to put canisters inside it. There we go, that should do it. Now we're only building one door this time. We're not actually going to do any kind of airlock. Again, embrace the chaos and all that. Moving in and out of the base faster, plus it's going to take up less space if I don't have to put a frame up here for the airlock and another door. So we'll just be going with this approach. I think it will be fine, mostly. We'll just have to see how it goes. I'm only going to let nighttime air into this place. I'm only going to open and close the door at night. So in theory, nothing more than like 200, 300 degrees Celsius air should get inside here. And hopefully our canisters can survive it, especially that big tank. If not, we may just do some emergency surgery on it, release some pressure or something. We'll just have to see how that goes. Okay, so we're done with the outside of the base, but we have a few spare daylight hours, so we're just going to go grab some of the more essential ores here quickly. And as always, I think I'm just going to speed up the mining for you guys. Okay, we're risking temperatures that are a bit too hot now, so we need to get back inside so that we don't let such hot air into the base where the tank is stored. Alright, we're just going to dump these ores here temporarily so long. And now we can begin construction of the inside of the base while it's daytime outside. So with the trader we have three main goals. The one is firstly to make enough money to buy everything we want to buy. The second is to find the trader that sells seeds, or I should say basic plants. In our case, we only really want to start out with the tomato. So we find a trader that sells at least one tomato and buy that off of him. And then the third requirement is to find a trader that will sell us food before our energy bars run out. So we can buy lots of food off him and have enough to hopefully survive for the rest of the time that we need before we get to a point where we can start growing those tomatoes that we bought. So that's pretty much the gist of it, of what needs to be accomplished with the trader side. So now we're going to put down the vending machine. The vending machine kind of acts like a storage in its own right, with a little LCD display with next previous item and basically dispatch item, or you can stick stuff in the back of the chute here. It doesn't tell you how much of each item is present in it though. Also, for the other purpose that the vending machine serves is that if you connect it to your trader network, then it acts as the storage for buying and selling stuff. To use a trader, you have to have a computer with a trading motherboard installed, a vending machine, a satellite dish, and a landing pad, all powered and connected to the same data network. Now I've gone and put all of those devices on the power controller on the right, split off from everything else. That way they are A, isolated, and B, I can turn the whole lot on or off if I need to do trading work. Which I definitely wanted to leave off most of the time for those devices, because there's a bunch of them there that draw quite a bit of power. So I'll only turn that set of devices on whenever I want to do trading. This thing doesn't have a pipe. Let's just fix that. And of course the power controller on the left is just the stock standard power incoming from the solid fuel generator. You'll notice that I didn't bother to build a solar panel. This is something else they've changed in the game. There's now a small solar panel which can't be position adjusted, and the regular solar panel that you used to start with. You don't start with it anymore. Now you start with that tiny little solar panel, which, since Vulcan's sun sits at almost a precise 45-degree angle, makes that little solar panel quite inefficient since it can't be positioned at all. And also for my starter-based design that I'm using here, I don't really have enough wire cable left over to connect it anywhere, so I decided to just go ahead and leave it and rely purely on the solid fuel generator, since it wasn't going to do that much to begin with. Now let's just stash all the things we don't want to keep on us in the vending machine, since it's also going to be doubling up as our storage. Yeah, I'm still not quite happy with this thing's position. Perfectionist and all that. There we go. That's in the corner, perfect and accessible. Nice. Okay, I'm sure it's still a bit hot outside, but we're going to go out and do some mining now. Regardless, I don't really want to wait any longer. Time's ticking. Hunger's ticking, I should say. We're going to be aiming for coal for power and a bunch of ores that we can sell to the trader at decent value versus time spent. So let's just do that now, and I'll speed this up a bit. So the ores that are most profitable to sell to the trader versus time investment, especially on Vulcan, are typically the nickel and silver, since they're quite abundant, don't take that long to mine, and sell for high enough prices. This time I managed to get a whole bunch of nickel. We pop it all in the the vending machine so that it's sellable to the trader. Let's just store that as well. Now we're going to try and pin down a trader location. Let's set the satellite dish halfway down, 50%, and then one's already showing up their contact, and then try and adjust it till that contact is above 95%, because that's when they become contactable. You can hold down C for single unit adjustments as opposed to the normal 10 unit adjustments. And there we go, we were able to call him. But let's go search for the next trader signals along while we wait for the trader to land behind us. Okay, and what does he have? Oh, we can sell all of our nickel to him. The price is quite good, 750. Sell the other ores while we're at it, because why not? You can always go mine more. Yeah, I can sell some of the stuff that we don't need as well. Yeah, no, maybe not. I'd rather actually hang on to it for now. Oh, kid furniture. We could definitely buy one of those for making a desk later to put a microwave on top. I definitely want chutes. Those are always handy. Cable. Wait, what? $14 selling price for cable? I think we just found the way to succeed in this run. Copper normally sells for like $1 to $2 a unit, but a cable is like half a copper and it's selling for 14. That means from one copper we get 2 cables and about $24 worth of credit. That's nuts. We are going to make it our mission now to mine as much copper as possible and produce as much cable as possible to sell to this guy, because this is how we're going to get all the money we need to buy all the stuff that we need, especially in the food department where it's quite pricey. So that is our mission. Previously I've just been mining various ores and selling them to the trader, but that's quite grindy and doesn't get very great results. It's hard to build up enough money to buy what you want. This is going to be great. Let's speed this up. Okay, health is quite low. Let's pop a pill there. Carry on. So yeah, this mining run I come back with a bunch of copper and a bunch of nickel. Nickel can be sold straight, and the copper I'm gonna set to work to making those very valuable cables. I feel like this must be a mistake or something. It seems so far outside the range of the other stuff as far as sell price goes. But hey, I'm not complaining. That's gonna make things a lot easier to achieve our goals in time. Okay, so we've started our cable production over here. We just have to keep that flowing. I've decided to put down a pipe bender along, since with all the mining work I'm going to run out of propellant very early on, so I'm going to need to build a setup I can use to fill my propellant tank, hence the need for the pipe bender. in the previous run, I pretty much recorded video straight. I didn't really, aside from fast forwarding for the various mining pieces, I didn't really do any skips. That was because I wanted to really showcase a solid, hardcore 4x hunger run without really missing a beat, creating a feeling of solidarity there, or consistent flow. I'm not going to be doing that in this video. I've already done one skip now. I'm going to be doing many more skips, time jumps. It's just the nature of the whole trader thing, and the sheer amount of mining and like boring work in between just doesn't make for very good watching. So I'll be doing quite a few more skips. Right now we're just kind of buying time for the sun to set again so that we can go outside and go about our business, whether that be trading or mining. And this is just gonna go on and on for a bit until we've got the funds together that we need, or at least the amount of credit that I think we'll be needing to buy everything we want to buy. So just as first step. So here's our first batch of cable being sold. It's still a very small amount right now. We just started producing it, but that should pick up as we go. I always feel like I should hit escape to get out of this menu, but that doesn't work. It takes you to the game menu. I always forget the expel handle down, forget to put it back up. That's quite annoying. There we go. Now for the one component that we were missing, which is the canister holder. Even if the vending machine is unpowered, you still have access to this display. But right now it actually is powered, but you can still cycle through the display while it's unpowered. You just need power to be turned on if you actually want to vend an item out of the machine. Oh, 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 no, 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 come here, come here, come here. Oh, that was so close. Oh dear, that was close. If that tool had hit the lava, I would have had no more wire cutters and this run would have been over. Ah, this isn't going to work. I need that canister holder to actually face the outside. Just eat something quick before I die. Okay. We're fetching the spare canister, since I can't remove my jetpack canister to refuel it while I'm using the jetpack in the air, so we'll fill this one up with external gases instead. Just gotta be careful not to overpressure the thing. I can still go more. 6 to 7 kPa, or 6 kPa is usually a safe upper limit for these tanks in the Vulcan atmosphere. It can still handle some gas expansion. So let's release that thing. I don't want gases stored in there anymore. Okay. Oh, cable production is busy going here. Later on you can build a thing called a stacker, which will put all of these individual items in a single stack as they come out, but don't have access to that right now. So we've been busy mining as usual, mostly focused on copper for this cable plan. And as you can see, we've been quite busy. Now something I'm just realizing is that this cable production isn't nearly as fast as I need it to be, otherwise it's just going to take too long to make too many cables, and I'm not going to advance far enough in time to really keep up with my hunger and time limit requirements. So we're probably going to need an electronics printer, and it just so happens that I remember seeing one being sold by our current trader that we're selling all these cables to. So I think we're going to capitalize on that. Yes, I could just build an electronics printer of my own, but that would require time and effort mining and smelting resources that I don't want to spare. So let's just pop out here quickly in this blistering 600-degree heat and quickly grab ourselves that electronics printer. So I'm going to stop the video here. It's gone quite a bit over time than my normal video length, but that's okay. I wanted to at least get this far before stopping the video. And the next video we will obviously be continuing with this process now with a much faster electronics printer, building up our money, and we're also going to finish off all of our trading and make sure we get to the point where we want to be with the trader, and then by the time the next video ends. So until then, see you guys next time.